What is good, my beautiful DC brothers and sisters? It's your boy, the Truth 31. Hit like, subscribe for all that DC goodness on your face, neck, and chest. And this is the best Batman film of all time. I love this movie. I watched this movie growing up. The first time I saw it was in theaters when it was released back in 1993. Oh my God, I feel old. And this still, without a shout of a doubt, without shadow of a doubt, the most electrifying. No, I'm just kidding. But this is absolutely phenomenal. This is top notch animation. I love the Art Deco style. I love the writing. The everything about this film is it's just it's just so good. Just so good. It's the best Batman film of all time. It really is. And what I love about this movie, it's really three stories in one. It's a love story, which I never thought I would see in a Batman movie. It's a murder mystery. Okay, that sounds right about right. That sounds right about right. That sounds about right. And number three, it's a origin story. So you have three stories in one, and it all somehow works within the confines of this film. And it has one of the creepiest antagonists ever in a Batman movie, and that's Phantasm. I love the look. I love the design. I love his catchphrase, where he says, your angel of death awaits. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And that hook, sort of like Candyman-esque, it looks so cool. And I'm shocked that this character hasn't appeared in any Batman movie. Like, I'm super surprised because this is a like fan favorite character. And by the way, this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen this movie, which I don't know what's wrong with you, I'm going to spoil the fuck out of it. So you have 5 seconds. I'm going to give you 5 seconds, okay? Five, four, three, two, one. The main antagonist is Andrea Beaumont. And this is where the love story comes in because in this movie, Andrea Beaumont plays a love interest to a younger Bruce Wayne. And this is where the origin story comes in because we see flashbacks of a younger Bruce Wayne who takes a liking to Andrea Beaumont. They meet and they fall in love. And, there's also a backstory on where Andrea Beaumont's father is, sort of gets in trouble, sort of, aligns himself with all the gangsters and mobsters around in Gotham City. And this is where, again, the Joker shows up. And we actually see the Joker. Very brief appearance, but Joker plays a mobster. And he's fucking creepy as hell. Again, Mark Hamill does a great job, fantastic job. And this end, I'm all over the place, but I just want to get like certain sections, especially at the end, where this scene is so good. Where first of all, I love the character who's all dressed in black. Oh, she looks so perfect, and the Joker just laughing because he's missing one tooth because there's a fight scene, a brutal fight scene, by the way, especially for a kids movie, where Batman just knocks the shit out of Joker, and Joker's just laughing maniacally with one tooth, and you see the fire in the background with him laughing. It's such an iconic shot in this movie. It's so good. Like, again, the design is so classic. It's so Bruce Timm. It's just like it's so Paul Dini. It's so Batman the Animated Series where this is taken from. Obviously, this is just and it doesn't feel like a extended longer episode. It really doesn't. It feels like an original, motion picture. And the fact that they were able to do that, again, it's just kudos to them, man. It's so good. It's so like I don't know what else to say. Like this is just like me just slobbering all over this movie. Like again, and the love story, it actually works. It doesn't feel contrived. It doesn't feel forced. It actually flows naturally. It feels natural, and the chemistry between the chemistry, which is weird to say, is fucking animation, but you actually buy the romance between these two characters, and you actually see why Bruce Wayne would give up being Batman and fall in love with his character. And by the way, like during this flashback scene, Bruce has no interest, like he's never like had any like taste for justice or taste for vengeance. Like he doesn't want to be Batman. He just wants to find love. He thinks he's found, the love of his life in Andrea Beaumont and vice versa. So the fact, and there's a scene where, again, where Andrea Beaumont's father gets caught up with all the mobsters and he's forced to leave because, he embezzled money from the Sylvestra, I think, mobster. The Sylvestra, I think is like one of the crime bosses. He embezzles money. He took money, so now he has to leave, and he takes Andrea Beaumont with him, and and she actually like leaves a letter to Bruce Wayne and says like, yo, I'm sorry, I love you, but I can't be with you because I have to go. And then that's where, Bruce reads it. He's tormented, he's tortured, he's like fucking heartbroken. And that's where he leads into the Batman persona where he says, you know what, fuck it, fuck love, I'm gonna do my own thing, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And that's where you see Bruce Wayne, become the vigilante, who has a ski mask, almost similar to the Batman Begins, where he's first starting out, where he wears a ski mask and just black plain clothes. And he goes out and starts doing his vigilante shit. And there's a scene where, a great powerful scene where he's like basically at his parents' cemetery, and he's asking, like what, like is why can't I, have what I want? It's like am I doing the right thing? It's like I just want to find love. It's just like, is that so wrong? So like again, there are emotional, powerful scenes like that throughout the movie. Again, it just hooks you, man. It's such a gripping, emotional story. For like a kids movie, for an animated movie, it's like wow. It's just like it's fantastic. Again, this is what sets the DC animation apart from like other animation studios like Marvel, stuff like that. Like it's such a gripping emotional story, and the writers take so much care and detail in the story. Again, the art style is phenomenal, and everything about this movie is all top notch. Of course, that's where we see the Batman persona get rise up and stuff like that, and that's where it's weird because I'm not sure how I feel about the breakup leading to Batman, Bruce Wayne becoming the Batman. It's a little weird, but it's just like again, but within the context of the movie, within the story, it works and it makes sense for this Bruce Wayne character who's always felt conflicted about making a promise to his parents on avenging their murders, but at the same time wanting to find love and wanting to find peace and then wanting to have a family. So it works within the story. Of course, since the Phantasm murders the mob bosses because the mob bosses murdered Andrea Beaumont's father. That's why he had to leave and stuff like that. But they caught him and I think in a scene where they never show this, but she walks in to the apartment where actually I think Joker is actually there, like just smiling at her like a fucking weirdo, like a creepy little bastard. And she goes into the house where the mobsters broke in and killed their father. And there's like a fucking loud scream from Andrea Beaumont. You never see what they did to her father, but you can imagine like they killed him. But you can also imagine like they did some freaking they did some fucking gnarly shit to her father. And that's why she kills, and that's why she takes up the Phantasm persona and starts killing the mobsters all around, to avenge her father's death. And of course, Joker, Mark Hamill, who plays a part of this movie as always. But I felt like again, he's part of the narrative because he was part of the Salvestra mob, and they're closely linked with one another, with Andrea Beaumont and Joker. And that's why she wants to take revenge on Joker as well, because he was part of the mob boss, the mob circle. And of course, that it intertwines with Batman, and they have their whole little rivalry and fighting and all that shit. And again, for like a kids movie, their fight is pretty damn brutal. I think this is like the first time where they ever showed blood in a Batman animated series. Like it was fucking brutal. Like it was fucking dark. And of course, since Batman's being framed because the Phantasm, the cops think like this is Batman, so and that's why he's the police think Batman's killing all the mobsters, and of course he's not. It's really the Phantasm and stuff like that. There's also a great scene with Batman running from the cops and the police. Again, it's classic Batman shit. It's classic storytelling, and it's really, I mean, this movie is a 10 out of 10. Is if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I'm fucking tongue-tied because this is one great animated movie, and it deserves respect, and it has respect, and it's still ranks among one of the best Batman movies of all time. So go watch it. You won't fucking regret it. I promise you. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Smash that fucking like button, my beautiful DC brothers and sisters. Subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. Let's continue having a DC conversation as always. Support DC. Love DC. And once again, if you haven't seen this movie, go watch this movie. It's the best Batman movie of all time. The characters are great. The story is great. The story is emotional. It's gripping. The animation is all top notch. the origin, the love story, the Joker, all their origins and all the stories colliding into one another is fantastic. This works so well. And as always, truth out.